From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is the Thunder Update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio with Joe Masato, Thunder beat writer. Joe, Thunder's hot right now. 6 of 7 they've won, and in 6 of those games, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has gone over 20 points. And obviously points aren't everything, but this guy is an evolving star, really, for this team and in this league. But what do you think's been important for just the consistency we've seen out of him of late?
I think just the responsibility that they've put on him and him sort of accepting that and realizing already that at 21 years old, as a second-year guy, he's already kind of the new face of the franchise, really. I mean, Chris Paul is still their best player. They've got veterans like Steven Adams and Danilo Gallinari, but SGA is the future, and the way he's scoring the ball, I think is something that we didn't really expect. I mean, this was a guy who was averaging right around 10 points a game last year. Now he's over 20 points a game and 3 32-point games in the last 10 days. And
to add to that, the fact that they head to Toronto, his home country, and obviously a big game for him, but do so without Dennis Schroeder and Danilo Gallinari. And, the scoring that they bring, really a big hole there that he was able to fill on Sunday night.
Yeah, after the game he was asked which of his 32-point games did he like the best, and he said the one at Toronto. And it's not only because it's his hometown. I think it was because more pressure was on him in that game than any of the previous 32-point games. Because like you said, Dennis Schroeder is a guy who's one of the top scoring sixth man in the NBA. Gallinari scoring around 18 points a game. So a lot of the offensive burden fell to him, and he wasn't just doing it by driving to the rim. He made a few three-pointers and is shooting the ball really well, and he's sort of evolving very quickly right before our eyes this season.
Obviously, Chris Paul's still playing masterfully at the point guard position, and they're sharing that duty. But how do you see Chris Paul rubbing off on Shai? Because such a veteran. I mean, nearly getting towards that 2-decade mark in the NBA is Chris Paul. What do you think he's most bringing to Shai as they play together?
Yeah, I mean, you can see it almost every day after practice when we go in and talk to the guys. On one court, on one end, usually it's 2 guys. It's Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Again, this is after practice, but they're just kind of messing around with each other, telling jokes, and that's really the main thing that I've noticed is just their friendship and relationship. And I think Chris Paul sees the potential in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and is definitely mentoring him. And I think, as a second-year guy who as young as he is, if he didn't have a guy like Chris Paul, probably doesn't know how to navigate an NBA season and what it takes to be the guy. But now Chris Paul helps him balance all of that, sort of on the court and off the court.
As we look ahead, that traditional New Year's Eve game, Oklahoma City hosting on Tuesday night, Dallas is in town, and that means Luka Doncic, as long as he's healthy, and it looks like he is. Shai, known more as a defender coming into this year, have we seen his defense slip? Is this going to be I don't sense so, but this is a challenge that Dallas brings to town.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. And, when he came into the NBA, everyone thought, given his length, he's 6'6", yeah, he is a defense-first guy. That kind of flipped. He became an offense-first guy, and I think his defense has to get a little better, especially going up against a guy like Luka Doncic. And, Doncic is in a class of his own, is a second-year player. I mean, no one's close to him. But if you look at it, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now, definitely below that level, but he's one of the best second-year guys in the NBA, so that's going to be a really fun New Year's Eve matchup.
Definitely so. Okay, 7 o'clock tip on New Year's Eve if you're headed out there. If you're not, watching on TV before the festivities kick off. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at Oklahoman.com and every day in the Oklahoman.